January 10th, 1901, and the geologist who came up was Petroleum Higgins was a geologist, and he had determined that he wanted to drill a well on this hill in Beaumont, and they drilled down, and it blew out. It blew out. It was producing 100,000 barrels of oil a day. It was the biggest oil well in the world, and it kept flowing and flowing, and they were out of control. They didn't know what to do. Oil was just flowing on the ground. Then they built dikes. You know what a dike is? You kind of push the dirt over the side and make little hills, kind of trap it, big square, trapping the oil. But it kept producing and producing, and finally they capped it. But the importance of Spindletop was it proved to the world that yes, there is significant amount of oil in the ground. You have to drill for it. There's significant oil in the ground. Because before that, I have a picture right here in Corpus Christi in 1905. This is 1901, right? So a few years later, here's what Corpus Christi looked like on Chaparral Street. Can you see that from here? Do you see the horse and carriage? You see that? This is Chaparral Street. Here's guys on horses. The horses are tied up over here. It's a dirt street. Corpus Christi, 1905, was a small village on the coast, and it looked like that in 1905. That was even 4 years after that happened. Here is a picture. These are postcards that I got from Jim Maloney. He has an extensive collection of Corpus Christi postcards, which I enlarged them up. We went and looked at them because I wanted a picture of Chaparral Street in 1920. Now tell me the difference. What happened between what's the difference in that picture of 1905 and 1920?
Cars.
Yes, a lot. Yes, automobiles. And what automobiles? What? And lights. Good observation right here.
The all-needed gas.
Excellent. Okay, I didn't notice that before. Good. You have street lights. Yes, the telephone poles are gone too, aren't they? Or not? They don't have them over here. So you have automobiles. But what happened? The importance of Spindletop was we had oil, and the companies of the world knew that we had a lot of oil down there. So that right after that is when cars were invented, automobiles were invented, and what do automobiles use? Oil and gasoline. Yes. I don't know if this is electricity or not then.
Capital Street is downtown.
Yes. Right. So, also planes. I guess we're just starting to invent airplanes could use fuel. Ships. Before 1901, all ships on the ocean, powered ships, use coal. Think about it. Coal. Here's an engine on a ship. How do you get the coal into the engine?
You have to shovel it.
They shovel it. Shovel the coal into the engine. Okay, and after 1901, all ships started using oil to run the ships. Trains flipped from coal to oil because oil, and it started to be found. This was just the first well. There was oil found all over the world. Most places in the world, oil has been found. Okay, so now we're coming back to Corpus Christi. You can see by 1920 you had automobiles. A lot of people had automobiles, but I'm thinking these roads are still dirt roads here.
They're not cement roads.
No, they're not cement or... roads have come in two kinds of colors. Roads. The road surface.
Black and gray.
Black, usually kind of black or... And yeah, they're either concrete or what's the black? The black is asphalt. Asphalt comes from oil. Okay, so eventually we started using putting oil or asphalt on the roads because Jim Maloney had some pictures of cars. When this rains, these cars sink down in muck all the way down to the floorboards. They sink in muck. Once we had enough oil, they started putting oil on the roads like we do now, and asphalt, so the roads, when it rains, you can still drive your car. Oh. Huh? Slippery with asphalt? Or before? Oh, yeah, they were really slippery before. You would slide off and run into each other. Okay, so in the 1930s, they discovered oil in Corpus Christi. Okay? And this is the number of oil wells drilled in each 10 years in Corpus Christi. In the 20s, you had 147. In the 1930s, you had almost 2,000 oil wells drilled in Corpus Christi. And it's just outside of town. Okay? And you can see through the 40s and 50s and 60s, there's still thousands of wells drilled in Corpus Christi. And I'm going to show you over here on this graph. This is a picture of the oil wells drilled in Saxon Field in Corpus Christi in 1930. Okay? And now I'm going to show you a map. This is a map of Corpus Christi right now. And the red is like the industrial area where people live. Here's the Corpus Christi Bay. You see the T-heads right here. Here's I-37 coming across. Here's the Crosstown Expressway. Now this is one of my maps that I superimposed. I put on it all the oil wells that have been drilled in Corpus Christi. See these little black dots? These black dots, on my map, a little black dot means an oil well was drilled there. Okay? Look at I-37. I mean, it's just west of town, like just right down the road. Look at that solid black area. There's hundreds of wells right in here that were drilled. Oil wells. And you keep on going I-37, a little bit farther. Look at all these oil wells out here in west of Corpus Christi.
Those are a lot.
It's a lot of them.
And there's very little where people live.
You said that there's very little oil wells where people live. Good observation. Because in the 20s, Corpus Christi was a small town. It was starting to develop, and they started to come this way. But oil was discovered over here. So where did the people? Did you want to move? Do you want to build your house in the middle of an oil field?
No, you have to build it down.
Excellent. It's exactly right. When oil was found right here, people started moving, so the city moved south because the oil field's right here. So all these wells are being drilled. So you had a good observation there. But right now, most of these wells are plugged. You don't see, it doesn't look like, the I-37 is going right through here. Do you see these derricks on I-37 right now? No, you don't. Because these wells have all been drilled and plugged and produced. I could tell you how much oil has been produced out of Nueces County, but it wouldn't mean much to you, would it? 257 million barrels of oil. 9 trillion, when you go back to class, 9 trillion cubic feet of gas. Figure out how many zeros are on that. All in Nueces County. Okay, so you produce the oil. That was in the 20s, right? 20s and 30s. Okay, but some smart people were living here those days, and they decided we needed a ship channel. So a ship channel was built right in here in 1926 for cotton. It was mainly for cotton export. For the surrounding counties could take their cotton to market and go on the ships and go to the other ports. Well, in yes?
I'm sorry, but I noticed that there's like oil fields in the water Nueces Bay.
Good observation, yes. And later on, I don't think that like in the 40s, they start drilling wells out in the water. Yes, you're right. Yes. A lot of them out here in Nueces Bay and around. Okay, so here's the oil. It's producing oil. What do you do with it? You have to get it to other markets. You've got to get it up to the east where all the people live. Not many people were living in Corpus Christi in those days, right? They needed some oil, but they didn't need 257 million barrels
of oil.
I didn't tell you what a barrel is either. It's 42 gallons. It's like a big barrel about this big around to the ground is a barrel of oil. 200 million. And remember a whale, I didn't tell you this, a whale has how many barrels of oil in his head, in his body? 275 barrels. Okay, I'm going to tell you this little fact right here. See this well is blowing out? In 4 minutes of producing, he produced the same amount of oil that came out of one whale. Just in 4 minutes.
That saved a lot of whales?
It saved a lot of whales. That's exactly right.